99.5 FM.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.
Hi everyone, I am Ariana Wellsbane, your Miss Teen Bahamas International 2016. Get ready to love this new Jergens moisturizer for wet skin. Apply to wet skin to lock in twice the moisturization. Then pat dry. So you're looking pretty darn fast. Jergens is more than just a moisturizer, and you're more than just a pretty face. Take it from me. Ask for it in your favorite stores, distributed by Bahamas Wholesale Agencies
It's
Limited.
Love Jones. It's Love Jones. Check us out as we combine our hit music with a love story. Live with Candy. It's Love Jones. Call in and participate at 326-0271 on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Refugee Camp presents
for all relationships, for regrets, for disagreements, for breaking up and making up, for all those out there jonesing for love. It's Love Jones right here, right now on Global 99.5. Then it's that. Good morning. What's happening? How's everybody doing out there? Hope you're having a great one. It is a Hump Day Wednesday, or a Wow Wednesday, like we like to call it right here on Love Jones. Welcome one and all. Before I do anything, let's get business out of the way. 812-1787 is your text, and WhatsApp, of course, you can watch as well as listen in via Facebook on Love Jones's page, as well as Global 99.5. We're streaming live. Got some other stuff going on, but today is kind of a freestyle kind of day. Thursdays is usually our pet peeve day, but I think we need to get into some of those items and issues today. Today's that day. Right? Yeah.
Right, sure.
What's happening?
Again. Okay, yeah.
Just checking.
Today's Wednesday.
Yeah. The drink beer Thursday, so we dealing with that today.
Oh, okay.
See how that go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I for that.
Just how shall we can move things how we want to. Yeah. You know, law here. That's what's that's what's really happening. So, yeah. But first of all, pleasantries out of the way. How are you, by the way?
I'm good.
You're good. I see you got your horsey shirt on.
Yeah.
For war. Someone what's up? It's like, what is a horsey shirt? That's like, boy, if you don't know, you're about to know.
Yeah.
So look here. Going through letters, like I said, some of the stuff is recent, and then some of the stuff is stuff from our archive when we were on hiatus. Some of the stuff that I've approached other people of WhatsApp, man, Candy, you want to hit up my letter? Yeah, whatever. So started to go and look through some of the stuff. And one of the topics of convo yesterday was opposites. And the laws of attraction. Now, as the old adage goes, opposites attract. So they say. And so if we prove that opposites do attract, I think the problem here is if opposites attract, for how long? I think it's very easy to attract someone. I think we all can do so. I think it's easy to be attracted to someone because there are certain things that people like. For some people, for some women, they just love a dark-skinned man. Nothing smoother, nothing better.
Speak on it.
Dark coffee in the morning, right?
Dark coffee, no cream.
And then there are others that are a part of the butterscotch nation.
Yeah.
The toffee nation.
Yeah.
There are some brothers that like, olive oil type girls. They like the slender the better. They can hula hoop with a Cheerio.
No.
Hang glide on a Dorito.
No.
And then there are other brothers. Hey, how y'all doing? They happen to like the ladies with a little more. Yeah.
Gotta get him a little joint.
Yeah. They like ladies with a little more cushion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I happen to be on that team right there. But you know, to each its own. And so we often find, you know, short men tend to like taller women.
Slim
Small,
ladies like-
they like heavy set dudes. You know, they like velvet teddy bears. So who's to say exactly how the laws of attraction work? But the issue or the question that I want to put on the table this morning as one of the topics is, can you maintain it though? I mean, it's always fire at first, but when you get a little ways in, not talking about the physical, we're just kind of playing around with the physical stuff, but when it comes to opposing things like maybe Christianity and not believing or subscribing to God and the biblical things, spirituality and universe. You know, some people are with Buddha and other things related to that. And then there are other people that believe in spanking, for instance, as far as rearing children. And then other people are against it totally. Finances, some people believe in, listen, you only live once. I'm making this money. I can spend this money. I ain't gonna leave the money for other people to enjoy. And then other people live their lives totally frugal and believing in more about the futuristic aspects of stuff. So I gotta save every little bit I have. So when I get older, I can enjoy it. And then some people say, but when you're old, I mean, what you gonna do? Like it's about youth. So there's so many different things when it comes to opposing views as to opposites. So is it your belief that yes, opposites attract, but can they maintain a relationship even with the best of compromise?
I believe that they can. I know a lot of people that have.
What are some of their opposites?
Some of the same things you spoke about, like spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them they have encountered just being able to, like you say, raise kids, how to go about punishment, and
Right.
some, you know, some. Or we could put them in timeout. No, we could cut that. I mean, we could do, but I think realistically, I think it's just about compromise and understanding, playing the roles. Like, if the man is a disciplinarian, then the mother should be the nurturer. She shouldn't get in the way of the discipline.
But if you starkly disbelieve in it, I understand what you're saying, because that's how, like, naturally, I think that's the expectation for creating balance. So I agree with that. And if you're opposed to spanking, then seeing its purpose, then you could say, okay, well, I'm not going to be the one to do it for whatever reason. It may have been because your spankings went to a different level when you were younger, so you're against it. But you understand the need for it, and you say, I won't be a party to it, but I understand that's something you have to do, so I'll just leave that to you. But we know some people that it's an issue. It gets into an argument. They get in the way when it comes to spanking and all of that.
That's because I feel in the play because they, and I have to say it like this, they do not understand the rules, I guess, to raising kids. Like, I mean, and there's another adage that says it takes a village to raise a child. And that simply means, buddy, what you can't do, I'm willing to, and I'm ready to do.
I think the biggest problem is long term.
But even if you don't consider long term, the thing is, you need to consider, if you don't consider long term, that's fine, but you need to consider the person that you're having a child with.
I agree, but that's a part of long term.
But,
I think people get into relationships and it's like, okay, well, we've managed to make it work okay. Not necessarily that it really works, but we've managed to make it work. And then when other things, like, they get into how are we going to spend the money on, are we going to get a house? Are we going to buy a condo? Do we want a yard, or don't we want to be bothered with that?
One want a house, next one want a Honda.
Well, see, and then it's that.
Right.
Some people are okay with just the way that they are. They don't necessarily for anything else.
That's
Some
right.
people find like happiness
But, like,
within their present moment.
Like you say, I think those are people who just who aren't, because I don't feel as though you have to be frugal to look at the future,
No.
but I feel as though you have to be wise, and in doing that, of course, budgeting, saving, and putting something aside for retirement is good. What's his name? Warren Buffett. He says the problem with a lot of people is they save what's left over after spending.
Right.
He said you should actually spend what's left over after saving.
And then after saving.
So I think that's where we go wrong. But you looking at the future, if you decide, okay, yeah, I want a house, then you work towards getting a house. You take things step by step. You don't try to do everything one time, and I think that's what causes people to lose focus as well. If you're with someone that doesn't have the same,
but see,
that's
this,
a brick wall.
and that's what I'm talking about. I think a lot of time people get into relationships and they figure we click in so many ways. So these other things that we don't click in or don't agree with, we'll figure those things out later. And they tend to be the things that end up breaking your relationship.
They tend to be the things that tell you shouldn't get in the relationship with the person to begin with.
Well, see, then it's that.
But then you caught up on the snog.
That one hit me out of left field. I totally wasn't expecting it. I should have been expecting it, but I didn't. But a lot of people just are like, okay, I laugh a lot in the relationship. You know, we get along well. The sex is good.
Yeah, that's good.
And all that other good stuff. But okay, that's good for now.
Right.
But the bigger picture is, okay, can those things maintain or sustain a relationship later on? And people just don't seem to understand the importance of it.
And unfortunately,
okay, for instance, let's talk about sex for a second.
Let's talk about sex,
baby. Let's talk about, but not you and me. No. But for instance, I know of a situation where, actually, I've experienced it myself, but I know a lot of people that have this problem. It isn't as if they don't have a great sexual attraction, but the problem is libidos. For whatever reason, sometimes it's hormones, sometimes it's just
health issues.
Sometimes people just ain't feeling sexy. It's a number of stuff. But where one partner has a really high sex drive and the other not so much.
I've been there.
They could go like months.
Yeah, but that's your problem.
Ain't got to be nothing going on. So if you're attracted to each other, well, I already know where you sit on it. But what I'm saying, if you're attracted to each other, and that's not an issue, but one person sees it as, no big. I mean, once in a while, it's like spring cleaning. Once in a while, we get to it. That's cool. And then another person is, this is like an integral part of what I'm trying to run with.
Yeah.
Then what do?
I can run.
What you mean? But this woman is working in so many other ways.
Ain't that sweet?
So
So
how big of a percentage of
we made
of
this
sex
discussion
is important?
We had this discussion.
100%.
40%.
But then you got 60 stuff
to
working.
Split against 60 to split against all the other teens that make you a wonderful person. That 40, that big lump sum.
Really?
Yes, I ain't changing 40% for your listen. Y'all, hey.
Could you be in a relationship where sex is absent for 8 months?
For who?
8 months.
Yeah, I could.
I'm talking about after you've tasted.
I've done it before.
So what's the problem?
Okay, if it's for a purpose, let's say you what's the thing name when you celibate. Let's say you decide, okay, I want to be celibate for a while,
right?
Or you get saved, and you say, well, I want to be with you, but as a Christian, I will. I'm like, all right, cool, and I can try to, fight a good fight and praise the Lord, and all that other good stuff. But after a while, if I see you with the boy.
All right, that's an interesting.
And then one thing too, of course, if you're a virgin, then I'm.
That's different
because I don't want you to feel uncomfortable or whatever.
Well, let's talk about that when we talk about opposites. Okay, let's talk about meeting a woman or a man that's in the world, so to speak, right? And you're a Christian, and I'm talking about Christian.
Yeah, you're a Christian.
Not that you're an actual, real. Trying to live life, handle it, and you're a Christian, and I would imagine being in the dating world and trying to be a subscribing Christian, where you're saying I'm not going to have sex. For some people, they don't believe in drinking. A lot of times, anything in excess, they're not going to do.
Right.
So a lot of things that typically we see in dating life and even getting into a committed relationship is going to be detracted from this relationship. Can opposites such as this attract?
Yes.
Yes, can attract. Can you maintain?
My sister. But not during the dating process.
So how does
I think with that what I in speaking to her,
was she always trying to
she was
get
a Christian?
him?
No, she wasn't. That's the thing. She wasn't trying to convert him.
Right.
She was just trying to get to know him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
The whole conversion thing came after marriage, and or once they started talking seriously about marriage. I think then she sat down. She's like, okay, so as far as the spirituality, and right now I think he is still, of course, it's still a battle.
Yeah, every day is,
because my sister's been saved for years. Mm-hmm. I think she's a minister in her church as well. He, on the other hand, they've been married a few years, so he's been saved probably like about 5 years now. Mm-hmm. So for him, it's still battling certain things and being tempted by certain things and still having his little fits and whatever. And it's just human nature, and it's of course the introduction of Satan pissing on you. Mm-hmm. But I found out through her that basically what she did was she just spent time getting to know him. Of course, the temptation was there,
right?
Because there's a husband now, so the temptation was there. Mm-hmm. They have 3 children,
right? so then it's that
the temptation was there. The kids came after the marriage, mm-hmm. but she said like a lot of people, a lot of women, they focus on, in order for me to be with him, you have to be saved. No, in order for you to be with him, you have to connect. Mm-hmm. Him being saved is a plus to him.
Agreed. But wouldn't we say, let's just say if he were saved, she was saved.
I don't think so.
You don't think it would have worked?
No.
Why not?
Because a lot of people have.
Because we always say that when you're dating, you're looking for commonalities and you're looking for things that you have alike, and that helps you. So why wouldn't you say if they were both saved, it probably would have worked better?
Because if they were both saved, according to how long they were both saved, according to who felt as though they were more saved, so to speak, that would be a battle. That would be a tug of war. When getting into the dating thing, yes, it could have worked out better if they were both saved, possibly. But sometimes it works out a lot better when you're opposite, when one is saved and one isn't. Because, like, for me, I'm not saved. I'm not a Christian, but I have a lot of knowledge about the Bible. So in me getting to talk to a woman who claims to be a Christian, when I speak to her and I realize that what she's saying doesn't line up with the Bible, to me that's a red flag. So I back off quickly. And you can talk about, you scared? No. What I scared of is the sheep outfit you have on, and I run. Because a lot of women try to use the Bible and use Christianity to manipulate men, to get them to do. I hear a lot of women say, I'm as a saved woman, I can't do this, and my God don't allow that. Your God don't care about sex. Your God don't care, but your God tells you to submit to your husband. He didn't say submit to your husband if he's saved too.
Okay, but we're talking about a situation such as husband and wife now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you have a lot of Christian women out there, quote unquote, who do not respect their husband. The pastor said I can't do this, or the pastor said I have to do. A lot of women out there who do that.
Again, it goes back to when we talk about opposite views, though. That respect had to be rooted and grounded from before you said I do.
But sometimes you have persons who get married and both are unsaved. Right. And then one gets saved in the marriage. I've heard.
But is that truly saved if... See, this opens the door for something totally different. It does, because if you're talking about saved in the true essence in which it's supposed to be, when you say that, I understand that is more so tied into less about what the pastor is saying and less about certain things. And when you become saved, it's more so giving your life to Christ.
Correct.
That's primarily what being saved is about. But with that and giving unto him your life, there comes other additives such as the following of commandments and those things, because it says if you love me, you'll follow my commandments, you'll keep my commandments.
So if they're married, that's what I'm saying. If they're married before one party gets saved, let's say they're married and the woman gets saved after the marriage, is she supposed to leave a marriage now?
No, what I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is whether he's saved or not, there should be certain respects and certain things that go for your husband. And what pastor says and this and that should never come before that.
Yeah,
if you're saying that you're committed to that and you understand what being saved is.
But the thing about it is, there's a scripture that says, to study to show thyself approved. Study to show thyself approved. A lot of people don't study. They, especially as a new convert, a lot of them totally listen to the pastor. They follow the instruction of the pastor. So remember I told you about the story where the woman was a prostitute and she got saved, and the pastor told her that to get extra credit in heaven, she has to sleep with him.
Yes.
Okay, a lot of people would call her ignorant and say, "Oh, she's dumb." And are you laughing? That's like right. But it happened. And a lot of people would say,
would they be right though?
No, no, they wouldn't, because the thing is, she does not know. So if she's learning, if she's supposed to be studying with the Bible and doing this and that, and he is supposed to be the one that's leading her.
Listen to me.
She is in the state.
If I reading a recipe,
you don't listen. What I'm saying,
say, put your head in the cake pan and close the oven door.
But the thing, okay, want me to the mindset that she has. The mindset that she has is, okay, I've been sleeping with people all my life for nothing.
So this one has a price tag of heaven.
This is helping me to do better for myself. What happened was she ended up going to a revival service, and they spoke about manipulation and the Jezebel spirit. Mm-hmm. And that's when she realized what he was doing. Now, a lot of people would say the same thing. Oh, she is dumb and she's this. But if she don't know,
I'm not saying that.
No,
because
I
understand.
But I'm saying a lot of people would. A lot of people hear it, because when I tell people the story, they're like, "Oh, she's a fool." She don't know no better. That's why the Bible compares new converts to children. You have to teach them, and you have to teach them the right way. You can't blame her. I wouldn't.
See, this discussion, I don't want it to turn into that discussion, but unfortunately, the thing is, it'll always come up when we talk about dating. It should come up with dating relationships. I don't think within our society we even consider it. And then you hear all this stuff being tossed about being evenly yoked and all of that, but
they don't even know what I mean.
This is my opinion. Saved, unsaved or not, to me, there should still be a basis. Do you believe in God?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's the start.
I mean, that's like the bare necessities.
I met a woman, and maybe we were talking. I was like, "Well, so you?" She's like, "No." I was like, "Okay, cool. That's."
So listen,
that's cool though. I miss me. When I say we still talking, we still.
Yeah,
but you,
cool.
me, and you, and
we can't never go past that point right there, and that's what I'm saying.
No,
sometimes people don't even make sure that the bare basics are present.
Yeah,
and then with the bare basics, at least you know. This is what the parameters are, and we could build on that. Some people don't even have that.
No.
And I think that tends to be an issue. We were talking in a group this morning, and people were saying, yeah, opposites can attract, and yeah, I don't debate that. I think the question that I have now is, though, the maintenance of. I think for a time it'll work, but I think a lot of times with that time, I have found it in my experience, when it works, it's because one person is, I think, putting down a lot of the stuff that they truly want in order to, there's always compromise in your relationship.
When it's opposites?
When it's a lot of times when it's opposites, and you view things a lot differently, and you see things differently, and you move differently within your relationship. A lot of times, in order for it to continue to work, one person will always feel as if
that's what it
they are putting most of the things that they want, they're putting it on the back burner, or they're smuggling down what it is that they really want order for it to work.
But if these things are making you a better person, regardless of how you feel about it, I've had people come to me who I've dated and tell me a lot of hurtful things about me, and I pout, and I go in my room and I close my door and I cuss. But then I evaluate myself. Remember when I told you about the leaf thing that I was playing with in my head? I evaluate myself, and I'm like, okay, I see that. All right. I'm like, no, but I don't. And then I'll call another person who I used to date, and I'll be like, hey, I have a question for you. When we were together, did you feel as though I was... And if that person says yes, I'm like, why? And they explain it. I'll call someone else. If more people are saying yes, then obviously that's something that you need to look into, because everybody can't be wrong and you're right.
Agreed.
So at the end of the day,
is that more behavior or more or less about base character?
I think it is about behavior, because behavior is what makes you you. Your character can be molded, but your behavior is kind of your natural movement to yourself.
I don't know. I tend to think differently. I think your character is basically the core of who you are, and you can different according to your character and the things that you pick up through different experiences that can shift and change. But the character of who you are, I think that's the basis of it. For instance, in my own situation, I am a communicator. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing I can do about that. My thing is, I believe in sitting down, hashing it out, saying what the issue is, and whether that comes to screaming or whatever it
Cussing.
is, we gonna have to get it out there because
Ice cuss.
I can't keep it within me because it's going to cause a problem later on. I can feel some kind of way towards you, and if that doesn't come forward, then it can come forward
at some point.
You can put my brush on the dresser the wrong way, and then I can just
I can
blow
go
it
off.
like, but it's a brush. Yeah, but I already feeling some kind of way, and I didn't get to express myself this way, so then it's all gonna come out in a flood.
Yeah.
And that typically is what it is. But I typically get paired with, I shouldn't say get paired like I'm the matchmaker, right? Like the matchmaker did it. I shouldn't say that.
I end up with.
And more so it's by my own design or choosing, but I simply seem to choose men that are less giving in the communication category. They talkative, yes, they people persons and all of that, but when it comes to communication as to how they feel, they'll talk to you about other people's relationship and they'll key in on that. You smiling because you know what's up.
Yeah.
Right? But when it comes to their own, it's very difficult to exist and be a communicative party within the relationship. Again, opposites. Does it work? For me, being a communicator, dealing with a non-communicator is extremely frustrating.
It's frustrating because it's who you are as a communicator. But again, if you like small steps, baby steps, basically. Same thing we were talking about, was it Monday, when I said about the approaching it in a different manner.
Right.
Sometimes because we're communicators, you get frustrated because it's like, okay, I need you to respond, I need you to give me some feedback. But then sometimes you don't need that feedback. What you need to do is you need to express what it is that you feel. Let that meld into them for a minute, and they may come back eventually and say, well, okay, but why you said that? They may not know how to express it right at that moment, but they may eventually come back and like, okay, so why you feel that way? Why you think that?
I don't have a problem with it because I realize even with people communicate differently, and definitely men and women see and communicate things differently. I think for women, they tend to expect the answer to come right then and there. Okay, I'm talking to you now and I'm kind of
waiting.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
That doesn't work. A lot of times that puts added pressure. And when someone says, I don't know, I'm ready to slap you. But then seriously, that's honestly their true response. I really don't know. I may know later, but right now with you all up in my grill,
I don't got it.
I don't know what you want, but I don't have it to give.
But like a lot of what I learned to deal with relationships now, I learned from my daughter. Because in dealing with her, I've learned how to find when I get, because she is a frustrated Jesus out of me.
Yes, I've seen it in action.
But I've had to learn because it was one incident where I was trying to help her with her words, her spelling words, and I got so like, I didn't get upset with her, but I was so stern. She started, I wasn't even frustrated. I just was kind of stern. And she started to cry, like not play cry, like
I'm sad.
Like cry. And that hurt me because I'm like, that's not what it was about. And that caused me to cry. I'm like, okay, I need to fix that. And so in learning how to deal with her, I've learned how to deal with women in general. And the same tactics I use with her, I use with women that I'm dating or I'm interested in or I'm in a relationship with. With her now, I tend to listen to her a lot. Like she'd be like, daddy, and daddy, and daddy. And I'll be like, oh, Jesus, why don't you leave me alone? Yes, baby.
Patience.
So, right. But for her, she's just excited to tell me about the smallest little thing, the car blew. That's
So
the world of her.
Is that the way women are? They
For the most part, yeah. And so what it is for a lot of men, when y'all come see the difference. When y'all come kind of aggressively, especially if it's something that's very, very
near and dear
to you. You come like a battle to hell and be like, hey.
Sometimes that's not it. I think what it is, and I think that's the way that women and men tend to be opposite a lot of times. I think for women, whether I'm talking to you about nuclear plants in the middle of East, or I'm talking to you about the fact that my nail broke at work, I want to feel as if, because it's important to me, that it's not necessarily important to you because you don't give a ish about my nail. I get that. But it doesn't have to be important to you, but you should be willing to at least hear how I feel about it because it's bothersome to me.
So if I just,
and because you care about me, then my feelings should matter to you.
Okay. So
and I think for women, when the biggest problem that women have is when they feel as if their feelings
don't matter.
That's
So-
when you're going to have a problem.
So if we just look and nod and say yes, baby.
That works some of the time, but
Okay.
if I ask you to recount, did you hear anything I just said?
Yeah, man.
What did I say?
But what? Would you just what?
No, we gotta see for someone that's probably not a great communicator, that'll work. That'll fly you through at least 5 months. But for someone like me, I need you to be keyed into the conversation. Well, what happened? Are you breaking? Man, are you man? I said, man, baby, you gotta be more careful, blah, 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 whatever. And if you keyed in and you kind of talking with me, that conversation can be over fast. But if you're nodding a thing and I pick up that you ain't checking, problem.
But if I say, see, I ain't in fact people pick up my check and I can be like, yeah, man. So what you talking about? Which topic you mean? Because you say a lot of things. What you want me to know about?
See,
Which
me
one
and you
know
could
about?
never because I can feel like you patronizing so you can wake up with your dreads tie up. Like you can be hanging from the ceiling fan. I'll be like, do you hear me now? Like,
yeah.
I certainly you see, so that's the thing. You know, I like I said, the question came forward. Do you remember that couple? And that was one of the WhatsApps that I got yesterday. Remember that couple when she was saying she agreed not to have children?
Yeah.
That was one of our ones.
She got they had 3 something like that, and she got
no,
pregnant.
that was another one. It was one where she was thinking of walking out on the marriage.
Because they agreed not to have kids at the beginning.
And then as he was an older guy.
Okay.
He was a little bit older, but then some stuff that he experienced in his childhood, he was like, I can't be no father. I can't see myself as being a dad because I didn't have a great childhood and I don't want to inflict my feelings and my past on any children. She was saying, okay, I understand that. I didn't have the greatest childhood either. So it's enough that we love each other. Let's make it work. And I think it was her sister or her best friend that had a child.
She ended up being a godmother.
And she was a godmother. And she started keeping the baby and spending time.
They were old.
He wasn't older, like 10 years or anything, but he was a little bit more mature, I would guess. And so as the marriage went on, they got a little bit older. She said her mind started to change, but she didn't say anything because he was so and understanding. I really do love children. I want to be a mom. And then so she started to talk to him and he's like, hey, look here.
That's good.
I understand that. I appreciate that.
Ain't
Babysit more. Do that if that's what you need. You want cat? What you need? Some Barbies? What you want? I got
Baby
you.
alive.
But I am not. You've changed your mind, but my mind is still made up. And her thing was, I went with you. I appreciated the fact that you didn't want children. I got that. I went with that. I loved you enough. Now, though, my mind is changing. I can't help the fact that it's natural for me. It's within me. God put it within me to want to have children, to nurture. I can't do anything with it. I tried to roll with that. And I love you. But if you're not willing to compromise or move with me on this, then I have to bring our marriage to. And it was difficult for her, but he was saying, I understand where you're coming from. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want kids.
But my thing is this, and my advice to her was this: stop being selfish and deal with it. Because
is she really?
Yeah.
Is it her or is it him that's being selfish?
No, it's her.
How so?
Because they went into the marriage both agreeing not to have kids. They went. Before they got married, he asked her again, are you sure that you do not want kids? Because I don't want any. She's like, me neither. I don't want kids.
Right.
So because your mind changed, mine's supposed to automatically change?
No. I don't think that's what it is.
No, I get it. But at the end of the day, you cannot now fault him and say it's his fault that
Let me kick a scenario at you. You go into a marriage and you guys have a child and you say, well, listen, this one right here is the poster child for contraception, which is what my daughter Temperance is. If I even let my mind slip for a minute, I look at her and remember,
Okay, no more.
if I might never have sex again in life, trust I. What? Poster child for contraception.
Yeah,
Tying off. Everything.
She's Chucky World Model.
Man, listen to me. They broke the mold on that one.
Wow.
That's a done.
All right.
All right. So you have one of them, right? And so you're like, no more. And God forbids, with life comes up, child becomes sick, or there's an accident and your child passes away.
Mhm.
There's a void.
I don't care how bad that child was.
That's yours.
Yeah.
That's yours.
Mhm.
There's a void in your life that cannot be filled by anything. I
Even
don't
by
care how
another child.
big or how nothing.
No.
But at the very least, you could give that love that is just now their idol to another child.
But then again, that has
I
to be a
understand
decision.
it's a different scenario, and it
No,
still has to
I-
be something
it's-
decided with
right,
the two. Because he
right.
may say, "Boy, listen,
I can't
I
deal.
can't love no other child.
I can't the possibility of losing
another
a-
child.
Right.
And I still coping with the loss, and now you want me to cope with the loss plus an introduction of
No.
someone new."
Mhm.
I have a distance with that child because you can't bring something to replace.
No.
But she's seeing it as, I have to fill my heart with another baby because my baby's gone.
Mhm.
And so now you're at a crossroads, but you know that the foundation is we love each other. You know that we loved our child. So the decision must be made.
But the decision is, again, it's about compromise. It's about understanding. It's about respecting each other.
Is she selfish for wanting another baby though?
No, she's not.
So how is the woman selfish, even though you went into it with that? We're humans. You
Yeah,
know your mind changes.
I get that. And I honestly do.
Mm-hmm.
From the story came, because I actually use that story to tell people about.
It's
I
a
tell
big
people
one.
about
Yeah.
I use an example. And it is, I understand her position. Believe me, because I didn't want kids. Now you mess with any of my children.
It's a problem.
I go into prison. Remember I tell you there's a difference between prison and jail? I go into prison.
I never saw myself as a maternal person. I mean, I'm a caring person, but I always was the one having to take care of my younger siblings, and I was not on that run. Been there, done that, and for that.
Until.
But out of the four of us, I'm the only one with children.
Yeah.
How does... I mean, I know how to happen, but I'm just saying. So I understand how your mind changes and how life happenstances upon you. But I think in this situation, I understand in a way, she has to be respectful of how he feels. But at the end of the day,
the thing is this.
You can't take away what's ingrained in you.
But you also can't take away the marriage because he refuses.
So what do you do? There's going to be a sense of resentment sitting there.
I think the only thing that you can do, in all honesty,
because it's quite possible she could have this child,
and he could fall in love,
and he could say, "Oh my gosh."
But remember what I told her? I said, what you do is don't try to trick him into a pregnancy. Don't try to fake put one on him. What you do, you bring the godchild around more. You let the child and him
more
interact.
interactions,
and you kind of open his eyes to what it could be like.
See, this, I get that. And I think that could very possibly work. But we go back to when we're opposing sides of your relationship. There is also the possibility that
it could completely turn
it could never be the case where he could say, yes, and I love our godchild. I love this child. But and with her submitting into being in that marriage and saying, listen, I really want to be here. But you know that she's going to be primarily unhappy within her marriage because this one is still not to be fulfilled.
And I get that too.
So that's a bigger example, but I think there are smaller examples in opposing relationships. Remember when I said that one, that's always going to be the one person who is compromising and they're sacrificing more. And when it comes like that, that's how we get into resentments and people stepping outside of that relationship to attain what they want.
Okay, remember the lady who married the man knowing that he was impotent?
Impotent
He was
sterile. Yes.
And they would have their little threesomes and all
To
the
add
rest of it,
spice and-
whatever. And then she ended up pregnant.
For the person that they had the
And the
menage a
threesome-
trois
right.
with. Yeah.
And so the question was, what does she do?
What to do with the baby now?
She was like, she wants a child. He was like, well, he didn't. What my response was? My response was, get rid of it.
Yeah, push. Ain't a nominee. I
No,
remember
my
that.
response was get rid of it.
Yeah.
But then when y'all started to break it down, like she sacrificed her life. She went into the marriage knowing
That he couldn't.
that he couldn't.
And
Not that he didn't want
I
to.
remember she said from jump, she always wanted children.
Right. She always wanted children.
But her love of him.
love of him, she was like, you know what? He can't have kids, but I love him, so I can bear that. 20 years later, I think it was.
Quite
in
a
the
few years.
she ended up pregnant, and she was like, "Look, I want this child," and he was like, "No, everyone knows that I'm sterile.
Yeah.
I can't have kids. Like how?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would. No, don't get." And then y'all explained it to me, and it was the same thing. It's the same thing with the flip. This man cannot have kids, but his wife wanted them
Right.
from jump. What did we say? But now y'all are now pregnant
Right.
because y'all decided to introduce the threesome.
All right.
Da-da-da-da.
Stop right there. Open it up just even a little bit more. She went into the marriage knowing how he felt, and let me be real about it. I don't think she was totally honest about not wanting children herself. I think in a way
she might have been another aspect, but the same thing.
I feel a little apprehension because of what happened during her childhood.
Right, and
but
then
I
the same
think
thing
maybe a
kicked
little
in
something.
probably as it came.
And I think it's a similar situation.
And I agree.
I think for him it was different because there was no possibility he couldn't do so. And I think for this as well, I think she went into it respecting
Eyes wide
and
open.
understanding exactly how her husband felt for the most part, and saying, you know what, but I love him enough, it's going to be okay. Two things she did. She went into it saying, I love him enough where I'll sacrifice what I want, possibilities, or I'll say
Yes,
that,
in.
and I'm
He can change his
hoping that
mind.
he'll change his mind.
And he
Either
didn't.
that, and he did it, and then she's like, "Well, damn, yeah, then it's this."
So you
So
went his
now-
eyes wide open.
Agreed, but what about him as a husband and taking the love that he's supposed to have for his wife and the sacrifices made?
I love my
Does some
wife.
sacrifices mean anything to him?
Yeah, I love my wife. I don't want no children with my wife. I don't want no children with nobody.
But your wife wants children.
Oh, then get your nieces and nephews to bring them over and tell them back to their ma when the weekend finish.
See, this is classic opposites right here.
Yeah. No. Listen to me. I'm because
I
my
get
thing
where
is
you're coming from because it either way, one person feels as if you're not respecting
my
what-
opinion, my feelings.
opinion, my feelings, my views, because
and in reality
he's not a bad guy because he said from jump.
No.
It isn't as if he trekked and said, okay, I want children. And then he got it and said, listen, I thought about that. Ain't nothing happening. He said from jump, and he asked before they went down the aisle, are you certain?
You don't want
Because
that
my
good.
mind is not going to change.
Like
And
it's
she
a wrap.
said, yeah. And she said, yes, I want to do this.
I don't want to
Because I think, because I think as people, we often expect because someone loves us that
They
they
should
should change
and to accommodate us.
to accommodate us.
They
That's
should-
something
no,
that we
now let me put-
expect.
They should change to accommodate you, but then
They should
if they
compromise.
right. They
That's
should
the key.
compromise
People
to
want
accommodate
to
you.
strip all of who you are and make you a different person in order to suit what it is that they want. Talked about character and behavior. Sometimes those things are exactly that. They're ingrained.
Yeah.
You are who you are. You may shift, you may compromise a bit, but to the core of you,
You may
that
shift
is
and
who
you may
you are.
compromise a lot. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, if
If
but
I
like
change
me.
everything who I am,
right, then who am I?
and who am I?
Right.
I am
with
what
me.
you want me to be. I'm not who I am.
Like with me, I don't like the new 5 now, the tight clothes. Yeah, I can't.
You can't do skinny
No,
jeans.
I can't. I won't. I won't. So I can't. I mean, then two people say that's not the same thing, but as small as that is,
Some women like
Some
men.
women like men who-
I can't do the skater guy thing.
no, I can't.
I don't need your nippies to be showing.
No.
Your shirt.
Oh, that's what they call it, skater guy.
No, well, skater dudes tend to, like in the States,
Uh-huh.
you know, skater dudes tend to wear like the skinny jeans. They got things clamped onto it. The shirt is a little bit tighter.
That was a little bit. I tell you, but the fella in the Chinese, I was a little bit tight. But my point
I think
is,
he's in a whole other category.
my point is, those are little things. So that's a small thing. Clothing is a small thing.
Right.
I will not. I got to adjust this mic. I
Shall
will not,
will not, won't.
cannot
Right.
wear tight clothes. As a man, I won't. I just won't. So imagine that's clothes.
Right.
Imagine
So
this
something
man.
as great as that.
You come to this man saying, "I want kids." And he's like, "Well, we then
talked about this.
Talked about this from jump." I no, but I was like, "Okay, yeah, baby, I love you. I want you to believe I love you, and I love you to death."
I get it. See, and the way he's gonna see that is, you're not respecting me. If you loved me, you would understand how I feel.
And she's saying,
but she's saying, if you would give me a child. I'm gonna do everything for this baby, this, that, the third, the next, and whatever. And so here we go. And so that's what I'm saying. In this situation, it's a little bit different because they both went to it saying that they didn't want. But if it was a situation where one said they wanted the other, and then it just went.
What if he had said he wanted kids and she still said no?
I think it would be the same thing. Each person would still feel as if you want what you want. No, but I'm saying a
lot of people would say that if like how is her wanting the child?
I think most people tend to think women are the ones that always want children. They have this maternal. Some women aren't built that way, and we've had stories where men. I remember one story we had where the man's greatest yearning was to have children, and she married him knowing that she had a tubal ligation. She knew that she couldn't. She couldn't.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was like the greatest deception, and that man cried when he found out that she couldn't have children.
But the thing was, he didn't leave the marriage.
No, he said he cried, he was hurt. He was very upset. He was very hurt. But he said that they were willing to venture into other things,
other avenues
with children. Yeah. So she went about it in a deceptive way. But I think people have to understand that men too, there's something within them to continue their lineage.
Let me tell you something. Driving bus, what amazes me, I see more fathers jump on a bus with their kids than, like, sometimes you see them and you don't see the child. You be like, what happened with her?
Where the baby?
Where the baby? And he's like, oh, I jumped in the school, man. He's like, oh, okay. So he said, buddy, 3 o'clock, I gotta be there. I gotta be there 2:45. I mean, 3 o'clock. My work already know. I leave him. I take my lunch break at 2:30, so that I could be there to pick up my child, drop them home, get them something to eat, and be back to work for 3:30. He's saying, buddy, what? I know men who have found out through DNA that their children aren't theirs biologically, and they tell the court, miss, I don't care what your papers say.
This is mine.
That's my child.
And that's what I'm saying. So I think if it were opposite, I don't think anything would be different. And I think it should still be respected.
People would say, course. Well, she wanted the baby, so he should give it the baby. If it was the next way, they already discussed that from the jump. So if she don't want the baby, he should respect that. So why should it be a difference?
And then a lot of people know, no one knows you quite like yourself. And then some people are of a selfish nature. It's about them. It's about their clothes. It's about their job. It's about that. And as far as they're concerned, I'm doing the best thing, because too many people have had children and have failed to taking care of these children the way that they deserve because they're selfish. So if I've predetermined that I'm not going to be a good parent because I'm selfish, or because I don't have the means in which, whether that's a mental capacity, financial capacity, emotional capacity, I don't have what it takes to be a spiritual leader for this child, I'm going to be held accountable. I don't have those things, then I ain't going to do it.
And reality
is, because if someone goes for a job and they know they don't have,
they don't qualify,
we would say,
why you apply for that?
You know nothing about aviation. How did you figure
you was be a pilot?
You ain't even had a play school plane. What you doing? That's what we would say. What kind of foolishness is this you dealing with?
Yeah.
But we think it's okay for people to jump in the seat of parenthood, and they're ill prepared.
Just on social media alone, WhatsApp. Do you have how many things have you seen with babies popping up here, there, and everywhere? I've heard stories about, and so I understand her position. I really do. But like you said, no one knows themselves. No one knows you like yourself.
Quite like yourself.
And so if he already knows, and it may not even be the fact that he may not think he is, he may just be afraid. He may just be like, look, I don't
want to commit the same sins that were committed against me.
I don't want to do that. Like, I know how my dad did me. He was in there. So I don't want to do it. And then you have people like Mike, who's, because their father was in there, they made it.
Remember I said, sometimes you go this way and
Or the
other times
next.
you go the other way.
Because Mikey was like, buddy, my dad is in there, and I made up in my mind, I'm going to be the best father that
Because he was
ever
not. Yeah.
exists, because my father was in there.
Mhm.
And then you have a lot of persons who their dad was in there, so they're like, I ain't doing it. They have
And
it.
then others say, well, mine was in there and I turned out okay, so you'll be all right without me.
Correct. Well, that's you do. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He says, hey, all, is divorce an option? People change, evolve, and grow. Maybe she didn't want kids at first. This is a huge deal. And if they're not, will not be a healthy relationship and no good can come from it. I hope they can come to terms. That's exactly what we said, because I think a lot of people think, okay, it's like if a family agrees not to have a dog, you can be a little bitter about it, a little salty, and you'll get over it. A child is so much different. We've had so many cases. One of the ones that stand out most for me when we talk about forgiveness and being opposite on certain things and still making it work, because that basis that we talk about, like with God, love was there. And that's the basis of the show today. Is love sufficient with all the things that can be opposite? Can that be your base to tie you? Do you remember that one? That made me cry. Do you remember the one where the dad fell asleep with the baby and the baby was burnt on the side of their face?
Yes. Yeah.
That was one of the ones that will always go down in the history books in the show. For a quick recap, this was an instance where you had a young mother and a young father, newly married, happy. They had their first baby. Everything was cool. She went to work,
I think it
and
was.
he was at home that particular day, babysitting the baby. The
And
iron
they fell
plug
asleep, right.
had been left in. He fell asleep with either the baby on his chest or fall asleep with the baby. The baby got up and basically fell on the iron. The iron was pressed and burnt, severely burnt the side of this
And the
baby's
baby has a
face,
scar now in
on the face. There was issues with social service,
Definitely.
taking the baby and all that other stuff. They had to go through parenting classes.
And the mother was in.
She was in
feelings.
what? Because she had to go now. You had to have supervised visits to see your own baby.
You had to prove to social services.
You had to prove to social services that this was not
was an accident, it's
purposely
not
done. It was an
intentionally.
accident, or
And-
y'all ain't neglectful parents.
Right.
She loves this man. This is a support system, but she blaming him.
And she was to the point where she was ready to divorce him too.
Yeah,
and
because she
walk out.
said they went to the pool and he was going to take the baby in the pool.
she was
She
like,
she
"Hell
break her
no."
leg. Hey, you're carrying my
No.
baby where?
And he was like,
remember
"Hey."
the last time I left you in
Right.
care, this baby, what happened? So he's like, how long you gonna beat me with this stick?
And that
And then she said they went out places and people kept saying, what happened to the baby face? So that was that constant reminder. And then the baby older, they asking questions, what happened to your
Definitely.
face? And then the baby
and the
having
baby,
to explain.
right. No, the baby. The thing is, the baby's gonna probably say, "Well, I don't know," and then the baby's gonna come home and ask, "But mom,
What happened?
what happened? Where I get this from?"
And then there's that. So
Now, you could
it's-
say a
it's-
birthmark,
No.
but then you don't want to say that to your
You could
child.
tell that-
You could say that's a birthmark, but then they're probably going to sit down because if it was that like
It was-
the iron, the holes for the
it's
is going to be
everything's
there,
left
so it's
there.
going to figure out it's an iron.
Mhm.
And then it's gonna be like, okay, so was it intentional? Like, who did it?
And then
that's-
they're looking at the parents sideways. She said they would be out in the mall or whatever, and people like,
yeah, because no one knows. But that's and exactly what you say. It's like,
it. And I also said it's the story that you guys decide to tell each other and this child. You can say, "Oh, well, your daddy was watching you, and you get, and he caused your face get burned." That obviously that's one way, but is that a healthy way?
no, not at all.
No, I mean that's not beneficial. It's the story that you decide to tell, and like I said, I remember saying, the story that you can tell is this happened, but with this happening, the mark that you bear is the mark that brought us closer than we've ever been as a family, as parents, as a couple. Because this is a test that we went through that came to destroy, and yet
Us.
we used it.
Understood.
We love you more than ever before because you're now super special. You know what I mean? So it's the story that you decide to tell as a family that you decide to tell this child. So the child now recounts the story as, this is my special Mark, whatever it is. And however, whatever people decide to perceive, that's fine. But the comfortability and the security that that child has, that's the most important thing. Right. So even though they were on opposing sides to how this happened, that basis of love and trust and being able to build from that fundamental, that is what made their marriage work.
And that's what I'm saying. Like a simple, like people would look at it and say, "Oh well," and he should have or she should have. But I mean, at the end of the day, my life happens.
It does.
And believe you me, when I say that happened, I remember I told you that happened to someone very, very close to me.
Yeah.
And so I understood how the mother felt, but I also understood how the father felt. The mother's a mother.
Well,
like
that goes without saying. I don't think nothing else has to be said.
Right.
Mother.
She's a mother.
Yeah.
So her thing is why she in her feelings. That's her pride.
It will be for a long time.
That's she in her feelings.
Yeah.
But you gotta understand that's his pride too.
Of course. And the guilt that he has to live with every day.
And I think that's the thing that the mother didn't realize is like in him, he's now trying to do so much extra with the baby so that the baby grows up remembering how much daddy loved me. So that when I now have to explain what the hell happened.
Because it was a little girl. And you know, when she gets older and it's dating and all that, these insecurities with this big scar on her face is going to come. And she can look to daddy, this is your fault.
Right.
Like, that's a heavy burden to bear.
Especially as a man.
That's a heavy burden. Like, it's enough girls, people go about with these insecurities within themselves just for being. And now this extra additive.
Right. I already have to validate you as just my daughter. Now I have to
with this this scar
that I basically was the fault. It's like that's not easy.
And so it goes back to in your relationships, sometimes taking off your own shoes and putting on the shoes of your mate or the person that you're with. I think that will give you the greatest understanding, regardless of whether you're opposite or where you sit on the spectrum. I think that is going to be the greatest lesson that you could possibly learn in compromise and compatibility ever.
Look at it like this, a magnet. When the opposite ends, as they come together, they pull each other in and they hold. And they hold. When you put the flip them. And try to put the two right, they push each other away. Yeah. And the thing you say that sometimes things that attract you repel you. For most persons who are exactly alike, that's fine for right then.
Yeah, but that's too much.
That's right.
Yeah, I can't.
And I think that's the thing with the opposites is like what you lack, what you're afraid to do, I'm open to. What I'm excited about when you're like, but you think that it's like, let's go, yeah. And you're like, anyway, okay, I'll try it.
Yeah.
And that's I think what makes the opposites work, because like, okay, a church girl versus the hood dude.
Yeah.
You know, she is all about morals and spirituality and whatever, and he's about the blocks and whatever. But strangely enough, she brings balance to that. Things that she could get him to do, his mama can't get him to do. She's like, baby, you can. Mom, but you ain't going out. She opened the window and tell us, he ain't coming out tonight. And he just look at them like,
this one. What all that
I can see all the more dog. Like, all right.
So what we watching? Yeah, what's going on here?
But you can't approach her. So, and it's the same thing with the book boys, the college boys and the girls. It's like they love them to death, but sometimes it clicks. So remember I told you about the incident with a girl. She was her boyfriend was like this bookworm type of dude, but she was a wild child. And she was promiscuous and knew what she wanted, and she got pregnant. And after a while, she was like, "Why are you here?" After having a baby, she's watching him in the hospital, and she's like, "Why are you still here? Why are you still dealing with me?" And he just looked at her and said, "Because I love you." And he went back to playing with his child, and he was like she was even there, and she's looking at him, holding the baby, playing the baby. She's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm
just gonna leave it with more so a question as we wrap up today. So is it your determination that once there is love, respect, trust, and communication within your relationship, regardless of what you think or how opposite you are, it can work? Or is it that if any of those fundamentals are opposing is where the problem will come in? Do opposites attract, and can they attain, maintain, and sustain long-lasting relationships? And then there's that. Yeah, so on that note, we're going to leave out today 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. What do opposites bring to your life? Let's continue the conversation. 812-1787. Hit us up on Facebook. Become a friend. And of course, you can watch this video a little bit later on Global. We've got it on YouTube as well as on Love Jones's page. So check it out a little bit later on and see if anything that we brought forward rung interesting bell within your own life. But as we leave out on a Wow Wednesday, I'm gonna drop it in Dee's lap to say we're out of here.
Wheeling!
Bang. Keep it right here. We're Global 99.5.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests